Hello, my name is David Mackenzie from Transport Scotland. I'm delighted to be here to talk to you about Project Prime, our award-winning 6-year project to design, trial and evaluate innovative road markings to influence rider behaviour at challenging bends and to improve safety for motorcyclists. Project Prime has been delivered by a team effort involving expertise in human factor psychology and roads engineering, with myself as the overall project manager on behalf of Transport Scotland. We are grateful for the funding provided by the Road Safety Trust to support our project. This slide briefly summarises the findings from phase 1 of the trials, which took place between 2020 and 2022 and involved placing discrete cameras at selected sites to monitor riders' speed, lateral position and braking in the bend, behaviours which are linked to safer cornering. These results showed very encouraging behaviour change effects across these identified criteria. The Phase 1 results were previously published in a 3-year summary report on the Transport Scotland website and led to the project receiving the coveted Prince Michael International Road Safety Award, as well as CIHT and Highways Awards in 2023. Phase 2 of Project Prime consisted of 3 further years of research to build on the success of Phase 1 and explore additional research themes that we were not able to address sufficiently in Phase 1 of the trials. In 2023, the theme was untreated roads. In Phase 1 of the trials, sites had been upgraded so as to be optimised for motorcycle riders. But in 2023, we selected a further 6 sites for installation and did not carry out these upgrades. Instead, we checked each site for suitability against a matrix of considerations: surface, lining, signing, etc. This approach led to similarly positive outcomes and was therefore carried forward into 2024 and 2025 research. These findings support the principle that primes are a low-cost intervention. In 2024, the theme was right-hand bends. The research had so far focused more on left-hand bends, as that is where the original collision data set was pointing to. In 2024, we selected a further 6 right-hand bends for the research. In 2025, we investigated alternative gateway designs to explore whether they could bring about any greater speed reductions, something which had seen less of than the other outcomes. Phase 2 also allowed us to explore carryover effects and long-term effects. This slide summarises the Phase 2 results. A further 15,557 bikes were individually coded and over 5,000 lead riders were further analysed. The Phase 2 results are summarised in the table here and paint a picture of continued positive behaviour change across all the criteria analysed. In particular, positive outcomes are observed for riders' lateral position on their approach to and through the bend, 14 of the 18 sites, and the use of the prime gateways at 17 of the 18 sites. The table indicates where statistically significant behaviour change was observed and instances where the data supported a lesser but positive trend in behaviour change. As previously mentioned, we also sought to carry out investigation into carryover effects in 2024 and long-term effects in 2025. In 2024, we investigated what effect primes at one bend had on rider behaviour at subsequent bends, referred to in the documentation as carryover effects. Data was analysed in the same way with cameras deployed at all three bends to record and allow the analysis of rider behaviour. Results indicated that there were significant reductions in speed across all three bends and positive changes in the subsequent bends in position, shown here in the red circles. While the results are not conclusive and only apply to one site, they provide a valuable insight into potential benefits of primes beyond immediate installation sites. In 2025, we took the opportunity to revisit 5 sites used in previous years of the project to undertake their potential long-term effects, together with one additional new site. 3 sites from 2020, 1 from 2022, and 1 from 2023, offering analysis over 2, 3, and 5 years. The results indicate that statistically significant positive changes in position at the final prime road marking were sustained at 4 of the 5 existing sites, 3 of those from the 2020 trials. Riders continued to ride through the gap at all 5 sites. At the apex of the bend, statistically significant sustained effects were observed at 3 of the 5 sites. Sustained reductions in braking were observed at 1 of the sites from 2020. Whilst limited to 5 sites, the data supports the assumption that riders will continue to use primes over the longer term. In 2025, we selected 6 bends, 5 of which had been used previously in the research, to investigate whether a revised design could increase the effects on approach speeds. This design consisted of 5 pairs of gateway markings, in contrast to the established 3 gateways. 2 different designs were trialled, with a 50-50 split across the 6 sites. A tight design, shown on the extreme left of this slide, was used where approach speeds were lower, and an extended design was used where there was a faster, more open approach to the bend. While some changes were observed at 2 sites, this was not significant enough to indicate a benefit over using the original 3 gateway design. As there were no negative effects observed, these sites will remain in situ. This research is a world first, and we believe it is the largest road trial investigation of motorcycle-specific road markings, with prime measures now installed and analysed at 35 sites on the Scottish Trunk Road network. In Phase 2, a further 15,557 motorcycles were manually counted and coded across all the trial sites, a total of 47,770 when combined with the over 32,000 analysed in Phase 1. Motorcycles carrying a passenger represented 10.3% of the total sample size. The largest proportion of motorcycles were classified as being part of a group, accounting for 59.7% of the total sample, further reinforcing the social nature of motorcycling. This would indicate that while motorcycles did not generally carry a passenger, they were likely to be riding with other motorcycles. The evidence further shows that if primes are installed, they can have a positive effect on rider behaviour, which is sustained over time and carried over to subsequent bends. These observations provide further evidence that primes did not have a detrimental effect on rider behaviour. To complement the evidence of positive behaviour change, a recent analysis provides evidence of a significant positive effect on injury collisions involving motorcycles when primes are installed. The analysis involved comparing a 10-year baseline period, which was used to identify trial sites, with an after period commencing on the 1st of August of the year of installation up to the 31st of July 2025, and indicates the following changes to annual average injury collisions involving power two-wheelers. A 61% reduction in injury collisions across all sites, an 86% reduction in injury power two-wheeler collisions across the cluster sites identified for use in the trials, and a 46% reduction in KSI injury power two-wheeler collisions across all trial sites. Project Prime has received interest from authorities across Europe, the UK, and further afield. In December 2024, Transport Scotland published an installation toolkit which summarises the knowledge gained during Phase 1 of the project and is a means by which other authorities can replicate our approach. It provides information on issues like site selection and designs for installation. The toolkit has been updated to reflect the additional findings from Phase 2 of the project. We are aware of a number of Scottish local authorities who are considering the use of primes, and some have already completed installations. The DFT have recently approved a trial of primes in Derbyshire, and primes also featured in the latest DFT road safety strategy, published in January of 2026. The research approach and results have been published in 5 academic journals, confirming that our project has been peer-reviewed at the highest level. A report summarising the results of Phase 2 has also been published on the Transport Scotland website. This short video, produced by Transport Scotland, features a further explanation of the project, along with footage from some of our trial sites.
New motorcycle research combining applied psychology with innovative road markings has been trialled on roads in Scotland with very positive results.
So these were developed even before we actually put markings down the road. We did a lot of work in the background looking at what riders would use. So we got their opinions and feedback on a number of different options before we settled on this design. And the idea we came up with was to put together 3 truncated chevron markings with a gap in the middle. So it kind of forms a gateway for motorcyclists to ride through. So we've done 3 years of trials across 22 sites in the West Highlands. And during that time, I've analysed and personally counted and coded over 32,000 motorcyclists. From those, we've analysed the lead motorcyclists in different groups of riders and for their behaviour. And what we found is that across these sites, in the majority of cases, we found a very strong position effect. We've also found at a number of sites reduced speed, so people are slowing down a bit more than they used to on approach to different bends. And we've also found reductions in braking on the bend, which is a particularly dangerous behaviour for a motorcyclist.
The simplicity of it is absolutely ingenious. It's just incredible how such simple road markings can potentially make such a difference to the safety of motorcyclists. I have seen people who are average motorcyclists when I've been following them and actually going between the markings, which is what it's all about.
I think we've got a great opportunity now that we've got this scientific database established in terms of the research that's been done in the last 3 years. What we've got now is the opportunity to carry on that work and roll it out throughout Scotland and the UK and indeed the world. I think anywhere where motorcyclists are approaching demanding bends, primes could be used to help make them safer on the roads.
There is now a substantial body of evidence to show that if primes are installed, riders will use them and continue to use them, that they have a positive effect on rider behaviour, particularly positioning, and they can have a sustained and substantial positive effect on collision rates involving motorcyclists. This has been a quick summary of Project Prime, and I hope that you have found it interesting. We are keen to talk to anyone who would like to know more, and my contact details are included on this slide. Thank you.